Okay, finally we have part 4 of the study guide. Thanks for joining me again. The equation of the circle we have here, I like to take a look at the center of the circle, and I can kind of eyeball the center of the circle by looking at that longest piece and this longest piece. So it looks like this point is about the center. So the center of my circle is -1, 4. Now I'm going to count my circle radius just by counting these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another thing I could do is to use the distance formula in the endpoints, but in this case, it's probably just a little faster to count. So we have the equation for the circle then as x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. And that's the equation for our circle. Okay, in 24, we have this equation. Now looking at this equation, I can see that the center should be at 0, -3. And I can see that the radius should be 2, the square root of 4. And don't forget, this one's always the opposite of what you see there for h and k. It didn't look that way because of the 0. So I'm going to graph 0, -3. 0, -3 is down here. And I have a radius of 2. So one way to do that is to just kind of mark your radius all around. And sometimes this tends to look more like a diamond than a circle, but you get the idea. Oh, that's a pretty bad circle. But you get the idea. I could maybe draw it like this. Let's see if that works out a little better. To draw it with my template here. So let's see, this circle, so starting here, nope, that's the center. Okay, so we'll start here and go out. So there's a circle, and that's much better than I could draw freehand. But I'll be a little generous in the circles that you draw on your paper as well. So now let's take a look at the constructions that you need to practice. So the constructions that you need to practice look a little bit like this. Okay, I'm having a little trouble with my... Okay, we're going to continue here, and our first step for constructing an angle bisector is to put our compass point on A. And then we're going to open the compass so that it's a little wider than half the distance. And then we're going to swing an arc across both legs. Now we're going to place our compass so that the point is on the intersection there. Then we're going to move this arc so that we have an arc down here. And we're going to put the point without changing it now back up here. And we're going to move our arc here. And so you can see that at this point, we will need to draw, let me put the compass up here out of the way, a straight line from here. Wasn't supposed to move that. Let's see if we can undo. I need to get my pencils back, so let's see. Here's my pencil. I actually want a straight line. So I'm having a little trouble with this piece here in the way. Too many things open. So here is my straight line. And so this angle, BAD, if you will, is congruent to DAC because this line is an angle bisector. Okay, so in the next construction, we are going to construct a segment AB such that AB is a perpendicular bisector of XY. So if you recall, we're going to open our compass so that it's more than halfway, and we're going to swing an arc across that. Now we're going to, without changing our compass, we're going to move it to this side. Actually, I want to flip my compass to the other side, but it's still 168 degrees, and that's the important thing. So now I'm going to use my compass and mark this, just so you can see. I'm going to move that down. I'm going to move my compass out of the way. And now I want to grab my line tool, which is hiding under there. There's my line tool. And so now we're going to draw this line segment. And so here we have the perpendicular bisector, AB, such that it bisects XY. So this is 90 degrees, and this line segment is the same measure as this line segment. So finally, we're going to construct a perpendicular from the point P. So we're going to place our compass on P. And I want to adjust this just a little bit so that it will cross the line twice. Let me get it back down here. So now I'm ready to make my mark. So it's going to cross the line segment twice. And these are kind of important pieces because this is the intersection that I want to use along with this one. And we want it to be perpendicular. And so that means it's going to be 90 degrees. And it's a little different than the other one because I'm not using the endpoints, but otherwise it is the same construction. So now I'm going to move my compass point at that intersection and swing an arc, and the compass point at this intersection, not changing it, but I'm going to swing an arc, And so now you can see that when I draw my line here, that this is going to be a perpendicular. This is a 90-degree angle. This is 90 degrees. So there are your steps. Good luck on your test.